How's it going, human? So if you watched my last episode, you would have seen me install these gorgeous walnut and epoxy shelves. But you have to be able to see the shelves when it's dark. So in this episode, we are putting in some lights. So let's light it up. So for the lights, I decided to go pretty simple. I just got some lights off of Amazon, and they're just one color. Because I'm not fancy. I don't need all of the RGB, QT, PD, BRF color changing lights. I just wanted this nice, warm glow to light up these cabinets. So the first thing to do was test out to make sure I actually liked the level of illumination they would give inside my cabinets. And with that all taken care of, it's now time for the epic time lapse of installation. Lights are in. Moment of truth. Truthful moments. Oh yeah. Now at this point you might be saying to yourself, hey Hugh, you're like a minute and a half into this video and you're done. The lights are in. Good job. I'm gonna scroll away and go watch something else now. But don't do it. Because drilling some holes inside a cabinet and feeding some LED lights and sticking them to the inside is not what this video is about. That's the easy bit. You can do that. But the hard bit, and also the fun bit, is what's gonna come next, and that's the soldering and the wiring and getting these lights actually connected up in a really cool way to turn them on. So as you might have noticed, the end of the electrical cable from the wires was like way up in the cabinet. And my power outlet was way down in the cabinet. So the first thing I had to do was extend this wire. So there's a few different ways to do this. And for this top connection, I decided to use these little blue bean connectors. They're pretty cool where you can just twist the wires together and then you just crimp these on and it creates a really nice hold. They're used in a lot of low voltage applications, and this is like 12 volt DC, so it's kind of perfect, but it's also not as strong as a connection as if you were to solder the wires together. Now the cool thing about these little bean connectors is these blue ones are actually filled with silicone, so they're rated for outdoor use. You can also get white ones that don't have any silicone inside of them, but I just didn't have any of the white ones, so even though this is inside, we're just gonna use the blue ones. It's fine. I mean, who doesn't want some extra silicone? It's good. So with my wire length all figured out, I fed it down between the bookcase and the wall and into a hole I drilled in the bottom cabinet. The next thing to do was solder this end back on. So soldering might be something that's new to a lot of you, but it's really not something to be that afraid of. The soldering iron's really hot, so don't touch it. That's like rule number one. But the biggest things with soldering is making sure that your wires are connected tightly. And it's really helpful to have a third hand. That's what this little alligator clip contraption is. It just holds everything where you need it. So you're not fumbling around trying to hold wires and the solder and the soldering iron and all that jazz. So the basics are this. Make sure your iron is hot so that when you touch solder to it, it will melt right away. Next, you're gonna hold the iron underneath the wires because heat rises. So you're gonna hold the iron there for a few seconds, get everything nice and warm, and then you're just gonna touch the solder on the top and it should melt and flow in between all the wires. But the big important thing to make sure of before you start soldering is you have your heat shrink preloaded onto your wires. Because if you didn't do this, then you can't get your heat shrink over the wires. Now if this is your first experience with heat shrink, it's pretty cool too. It's these rubber tubes that you put on. They end up being about twice the size of the wire, and then when you hit it with some heat, it shrinks, just like the name says. So with it shrunk around the wires, it just protects that connection so you don't get a short circuit. I mean, as much as we all love Johnny 5, this is not the type of short circuit that we want. Right, Laser Lips? At this point, it was time for another test to make sure my wiring and soldering and all that was going to work out. So I could plug in my adapter and test out my lights. Oh! So with my mess inside the cabinet all cleaned up, the next thing I had to do was figure out how I really wanted to turn these on, because I really didn't want to open the cabinet and spin the little dial every single time. So I came up with this epic solution. So thanks for sticking around and checking out this video. I know it might not have been my best one, but you know, maybe you learned how to solder and that'd be cool. But look at these lights. It's so illuminating. So in the next episode, I dismantle my couch because measuring is hard. Yeah, it happened. So stick around, check that out when it's out, and we'll catch you next time.